SpongeBob.
Everyone gathered on the campfire
Oh my.
and sing our campfire song. CNP.
Alfredo, where are you?
SONG song.
I'm gonna go take a piss. When I get back, I expect Alfredo at this campfire.
Bye bye.
Let's gather on the campfire and sing our campfire song. CAMPFIRE. Wait, we can copyright strike him. Everybody start playing music. I'm pissed.
And
I don't give a fuck. Say the N-word, Mendes. You won't. Gather at the campfire and sing our campfire song. Our CMPFIRES SLNG song. You don't think that we can sing it faster than you're wrong. I'll give you sing.
No. Eduardo, stop! Eduardo is burning.
You're fucking retarded.
Nothing.
You think that we can sing it faster than you're wrong. You're just sing along. MPFRAS SLNG song. Patrick. I thought it was retarded. F is for friends that do stuff together.
Oh, what? It's still burning?
Together is for you and me.
Oh, Jacob, I did bad.
Where the hell did my phone go? Oh, it's right here. What happened?
US for uranium bombs!
Jacob, I did bad.
What are you?
What the hell are you saying?
Jacob, Alfredo started the fire and it kept burning because he's retarded.
Where?
The leaves are missing, you fucking retard.
Oh, right here.
I'll put it
That'll
out.
be fine. Is it
I
done?
could probably promote Jacob in Darwin Project.
I could just turn off spread fire. Fire spread's done.
Promote Jacob's YouTube channel.
Not now. Everyone gather on the campfire.
Alfredo, we read down a Darwin Project, we go into Game Chat and we tell the director we win yes to promote the YouTube channel that we say, and we say Jacob's YouTube account.
Alright, you ready for a scary story?
Go. Be quiet, Mendes!
Wait, let Mendes say what he has to say. Yeah, you can. I'm fine with shoutouts, man. I'm not even that big. That's what she said. But like, you know, it's whatever. You can shout yourself out if you want to.
Wait, is fire spread off?
Alright.
Is fire spread off?
Don't you dare start the fire, Alfredo!
Just stop! Alfredo, stop. Hold
Just
up.
take off survival and kick him. You're wearing
We can see your boots.
You're fucking stupid. You can't see me wearing boots. We can still see you.
Alright, hold on, let me look for a good one.
Ooh, Reddit. They're always the scariest and the longest. That's what she said.
Alright, here's one called My Daughter Learned to Count by Real Science 87. You ready? I'm gonna try and read this in a spooky voice, right? My daughter woke me up around 11:50 last night. My wife and I had packed her up from her friend Sally's birthday party, brought her home, and put her to bed. My wife went into the bedroom to read while I fell asleep, watching the Braves game. Daddy, she Okay. Daddy, she
Daddy.
whispered, tugging my shirt sleeve. Guess how old I'm going to be next month? I don't know, Beauty, I said as I slipped on my glasses. How old? She smiled and held up 4 fingers. It is 7:30 now. My wife and I have been up with her for almost 8 hours. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me read the whole thing over, alright?
What?
My daughter woke me up around 11:50 last night. My wife and I had packed her up from her friend Sally's birthday party, brought her home, and put her to bed. My wife went into the bedroom to read while I fell asleep watching the Braves game. Daddy, she whispered, tugging my shirt sleeve. Guess how old I am going to be next month? I don't know, Beauty, I said as I slipped on my glasses. How old? She smiled and held up 4 fingers. It is 7:30 now. My wife and I have been up with her for almost 8 hours. She still refuses to tell us where she got them.
Oh, I get it. The 4 fingers.
Yeah.
Fingers.
Hurry up, my double XP.
Funny. Here, Jacob, I'ma send you a story.
Alright.
I forgot to send things to the Reddit.
Bruh.
I figured it out.
Can't see me.
I went to Creepy Encounters, I think. I think this is Creepy Encounters. The top of all time.
Battle Royale cheers. I guess we have cheers. No. Oh wait,
Mm-hmm.
Jacob, who you playing with?
My friends.
Friends? I was gonna see if 2 of y'all wanted to play. Me and Lupe could do a squad.
Nah, I got 4.
Jacob, I'm black.
Stop resisting!
Fuck up, stupid. Keep it down, man.
Keep it down, man. God damn.
Yeah, well, fuck you, Matt. He's just mad 'cause I didn't want to play fucking Modern Warfare with him.
Who's the next?
Oh, hold up.
Somebody slurping some pussy. Oh shit, yeah, cheat. Fuck, oh shit, fuck, shit, fuck, shit. Oh, fuck, shit, damn, oh, fuck.
What are you gonna do? You want to race?
Shut up, Alfredo, nobody wants to race.
Okay, loser.
Shut the fuck up, you loser. Alright, Jacob, tell a scary story.
Hold up.
Mendes.
Turn off the mic or mute yourself! Okay.
Alright. I'm gonna read the scary story they sent me.
I didn't read it, I just found it and was like, fine, this one.
Okay, now I'm ready. I just had to reply to my best friend. Okay, let's go. Something walks whistling past my house every night at 3:03. Every night, no matter the weather, something walks down our street whistling softly. You can only hear it if you're in the living room or the kitchen. When they walk by, and it starts exactly at 3:03. The sound starts faint, somewhere near the beginning of our lane, near the Carson's place. We're towards the middle of the street, so the whistling moves past us before fading away in the direction of the cul-de-sac. When I was younger, my sister and I would sneak into the kitchen some nights to listen. My mom and dad didn't like that, and my mom and dad wouldn't like that, and we'd catch hell if they found us out there. But they were never too hard on us since we are always stuck to the one big rule. Don't try to look at whatever was whistling. My neighborhood is a funny place. I've lived here since I was 6 and I love it. The houses are small, but well kept, good-sized yards, plenty of places to roam. There are a lot of other kids here my age. I turned 13 back in October. We grew up together and would always play foursquare in the cul-de-sac or roam around from back porch to back porch in the summer. This was a good place to grow up. I'm old enough to see it. And there's only two strange things here: the night whistling and the good luck. The whistling never bothered me much, like I said. I couldn't even hear it from my bedroom, but Mom and Dad don't like talking about it, so I stopped asking questions. My dad is a strong guy, tall and calm. He has an accent since he moved to the US as a kid. His family, my grandparents, they're from the island. That's what they call it. My dad, the only time he isn't so calm if the whistler comes up. He talks a little quicker than I, but moves faster, and he tells us not to think about it so much and to always remember the one rule, the big rule. Don't try to look outside when the whistler goes past. Not that we could look even if we wanted. See, there are shutters on every side, on the inside of every window. Thick pieces of heavy canvas that pull down from the top and latch to the bottom of the window frame. Each latch even has a small lock, about the size of what you'd find on a diary. My dad locks those shutters every night before we all go to bed, and keeps the key in his room. My mom, I don't know what she thinks about the whistling. I've seen her out in the living room before at 3:03 when the sound starts. I could see her if I cracked my door open just an inch to peek. She's not out there often. At least I haven't caught her much. She's not out there. Oh, I heard her that. At least I haven't caught her much, but once or twice a month, I think she sits out there on our big red couch just listening. The whistler has the same tune every night. It's cheerful. Da-da-da-da, da-dum, da-da-da-da, da-dum. Remember how I said there are two odd things about where I live? Well, besides our night whistler, everyone in my neighborhood is really lucky. It's hard to explain, and Dad doesn't like us talking about this part much either. But good things just seem to happen to people around here a lot. Usually, it's small things. Winning a radio contest, or getting an unexpected promotion at work, or finding some arrowheads buried in the yard. You know, the authentic kind. The weather is pretty good, and there's no crime, and everybody's gardens bloom extra bright in the fall. A million little blessings. I've heard my mom say about living here, but the main reason we stay here, why we moved here in the first place, is my sister Nola. She was born very sick, something with her lungs. We couldn't even bring her home when she was born, only visit her in the hospital. She was so small, I remember, small even compared to the other babies. A machine had to breathe for her. We moved into our house here to be closer to the hospital. As soon as we moved here, Nola started getting better. The doctors couldn't figure it out. They chalked it up to whatever they were doing, but we all could tell that they were confused. My parents knew. Even I knew. Nola getting better was just another one of the million little blessings we got for living in our neighborhood. So that's why we stayed, even after we found out that for every small miracle that happens here every day, now and then, some bad things happen. But they only happen if you look for the whistler. See, our neighborhood has a welcoming committee. They show up with macaroni casserole and a gift basket and a manila folder whenever someone new moves in. They are very friendly. 4 people showed up when we moved in 7 years ago. The committee made small talk, gave me a Snickers bar, and took turns holding Nola. It was her first week out of the hospital, so they were extra careful. Then the committee asked to speak to my parents in private, so I was sent to my room, where I was still managed to hear nearly every word. The welcoming committee told my parents about how nice the neighborhood was, really exceptionally hard to explain kind of nice. And then they told my parents about the even harder to explain whistling that happened every morning at 3:03 and ended at the tick of 3:05. The group, our new neighbors, warned my parents that the whistling was quiet, would never harm or hurt us, as long as we didn't look for what was making the sound. This part they stressed, and I pushed my ear into the door, straining to hear them. People who were looking for the whistler had their luck changed, sometimes tragically. A black cloud would hang over anyone that looked. Anything that could go wrong would. The manila envelope the committee brought over contained newspaper clippings, stories about car crashes and ruined lives, public deaths and freak accidents. Not everyone dies, I heard the head of the committee tell my dad, but the life goes out of them. Even if they live, there's no light in them ever again. No presence. My mom, I could tell she wasn't taking this seriously. She kept asking if this was some prank they played on new neighbors. At one point my mom got so angry, accused the committee of trying to scare us out of our new home, asked them if they were racist on account of my dad being from the islands. My dad calmed her down and told her he could tell our new neighbors were sincere and they were just trying to help us. He explained that he grew up hearing these kind of stories from his mom, and that he knew there were strange things that walked among us. Some of those strange things were good and some were bad, but most were just different. After the committee left, went out to the hardware store, brought back canvas blinds, the latches, and the locks, and installed them on every window in the house after dinner. That first night in our new house, I crept out of my room at 3 a.m. only to find my dad awake, sitting on the living room couch, holding my baby sister. My dad held up his finger in a motion, but patted the couch next to him. I sat, and we waited. At exactly 3:03, we heard the whistling. Da 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 dum. Da 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 dum. It came and it went, just like our neighbors said. The whistling returns each night, and we never look, and we enjoy our million little blessings every day. Nola breathes on her own, and she's grown into a strong, clever girl. My dad even joined the welcoming committee. We don't get new neighbors often. Why would anyone want to leave? But when a new family moves in, my dad and the committee bring them a macaroni casserole, a gift basket, and the manila folder. I can always tell by the look on my dad's face when he comes back if the family took the committee seriously, or if we'd be getting new neighbors again very soon. Not long ago, a family moved in directly next to us. The previous owner, Miss Maddie, passed away at the age of 105. She lived a good life, long life. Our new neighbors seemed like they'd fit in just fine. They believed the welcoming committee, took my dad's advice about their locking shutters since they had a young child of their own. Whatever newspaper clippings were in that manila envelope, whatever evidence, my dad never let us see. But I imagine it must have been awfully convincing since our neighbors got along with no issue for the first month. One night, when our neighbors had to leave town, they sent their son, Holden, to stay with us. He was 12, a year under me in school. I didn't know him well before that night, but as soon as his parents dropped him off after dinner, I could tell it was going to be a bad time. "Do you know who is always out there whistling every night?" Holden asked the moment the adults left their room. The 3 of us were sitting in the den, some Disney movie playing idly on the television. My sister and I exchanged a glance. "We don't talk about that," I said. I think it's that weirdo that lives in the big yellow house on the corner, Holden said. Mr. Tolles? My sister asked. No way. He's really nice. Holden shrugged. Must be a psycho killer then. Nola tensed. We don't talk about it, I repeated. Let's go in my room and play Nintendo. We spent the next few hours playing games, eating popcorn, and then watching movies. A typical sleepover, but I could see Holden was getting antsy. After my parents had wished us a good night, locked the blinds, and gone to bed, Holden stood up from his beanbag and walked over to where Nola and I were sitting on my bed. Have you ever tried looking? He asked. It's nearly time. Like most sleepovers, we'd conveniently ignored any suggestion of a bedtime. I was shocked to see he was right. It was almost 3 a.m. I sighed. We don't.
Alfredo, stop,
See,
dude.
I can't even try to look because my dad locks the blinds every night and hides the key, he continued, ignoring me. So does our dad, said Nola. No, replied Holden. No, he doesn't. You saw him do it, I said a little sharper than I meant to sound. Holden grinned. Your dad locks the blinds, yeah, but he doesn't hide the key. He keeps it right on his normal keychain. So, I asked, worried I already knew that he wouldn't. What would he say next? Because I had noticed that my dad didn't bother hiding the key anymore after all these years, because he knew we took it seriously. So, after your dad locked up, but before your parents went to bed, I went to the bathroom, and on my way, I may have peeked into the room, and I may have seen your dad's keychain on his nightstand, and I might have went to borrow the key to the blinds. Nola and I stared, and his grin only grew wider. You're lying, I said. Let me take a breath, okay, caught up.
Oh my.
Well, that lady was a boomer.
Alright. Where was I at? Okay. Holden shrugged. You can check if you want. Just open your parents' door and look. You'll see his keychain right there on the nightstand. Stay here, I told both of them. Don't move a muscle. I hurried over to my parents' room, but hesitated at the door. If Holden wasn't lying, my dad would be angry. Beyond angry. I was so scared thinking about it, but more scared of an open window with the Whistler right outside. I opened the door, barely an inch, and looked in, but it was too dark to see. Taking a deep breath, I walked into the room. 2 steps into the dark, I froze. The whistling started, and I could hear it clearly from my parents' room. I never realized, but they must have heard the sound every night since we moved into the house. They never told us. I don't think I could have slept through it. I stood there, listening to the whistling come closer. Closer, unsure whether I should turn on a light or call out for my dad. Soft sounds from the living room brought me back to reality. Nola, I yelled, running out of my parents' room. Holden and Nola were standing near the front door next to a window. Holden wasn't lying. I could see him fumbling with the lock on one of the blinds. I heard a click. He did have the key. Holden let out a quick laugh. Nola stood next to him, hunched up, afraid but maybe curious. The whistling was right outside our house now. I think I made a sound, called out. I can't remember. Time felt frozen. Clock hands nailed to the face, but I found myself moving. I'm not fast. I've never been athletic. Somehow, though, I covered the space between myself and Nola in a moment. My eyes were locked on her, but I heard Holden pull the blind all the way down so it could release. I heard the snap of it start to rise, and I heard the whistling just on the other side of the window. But I had my arm around Nola, and I turned her so she was facing away from the window. At the same time I jammed my eyes shut, the blinds whipped open. The whistling stopped. I felt Nola shaking in my arms. Don't look, okay? I told her. Don't turn around. We were positioned so that she was facing back towards the hallway, and I was facing the window. My eyes were still closed. I felt her nod into my shoulder. I reached out with the arm not holding Nola, and tried to touch Holden. My hand brushed against his arm. He was shaking worse than Nola. Holden? I asked. silenced. I reached past him and gingerly felt for the window, eyes still sealed shut. The glass was cold against my fingertips, colder than it should have been for the time of year. I moved my hand up the window, searching for the string to the blind. The glass began to get warmer the further I reached, and there was a gentle hum feeding back into my fingertips. I tried not to think about what might be on the other side of the window. Finally, I touched the string and yanked the blinds shut. I opened my eyes. In the dim light leaking out from the kitchen, I could make out Holden, pale and small, staring at the now closed window.
Yeah?
"Holden," I asked. He turned towards me, and he screamed. Everything became a flurry of motion. Lights sparked to life in the hall, then the living room. My parents' footsteps thudded across the hardwood floor. I didn't turn to look back at them. My eyes were glued to Holden. He was pale, had bit his lips so hard there was a thin red line of blood running down his chin, and he'd wet himself. "What happened?" my dad asked from behind me. I managed to swivel away from Holden and look back. He looked. I'd never seen my dad scared before, but I saw it that night. In a moment, an old, ugly terror stitched on his face, a parent's fear. "Just Holden?" he mouthed to me. I nodded yes. My dad let out a breath. He looked so relieved I nearly expected him to cheer. But then he turned to Holden, and my dad's face changed. I wonder if he felt bad for feeling good that Holden was the only one that looked. There was a knock at the door. We all froze. Holden whimpered. "Don't answer it," my mom said. She stood at the threshold of the hall. I'd always thought she was a skeptic and just humored my dad about the windows and the whistler, but that night, we were all believers. I noticed that both of my parents held baseball bats they must have taken from their bedroom. The knock came again, a little louder this time. "Please don't open the door," Holden whispered. My dad walked over, hugged him close. "We won't," my dad promised, still holding his bat.
Oh!
"Nothing is coming in here tonight."
Behind.
Thud, thud, thud. This time, the knocking was loud enough to rattle the door. Holden screamed again, and Nola clutched her arms around my neck. My mom came over and knelt down next to us, wrapping my sister and me close. Thud, thud, thud. "Call the police," my mom whispered to my dad. The knocking instantly stopped. My dad looked over his shoulder at us. "Do you think?" He was cut off by frantic knocking that trailed off to a polite tap, tap, tap. "Police," something said from the other side of the door. The voice from outside sounded exactly like my mom, like a parrot repeating the words back to her. "Police, call, the police." Tap, tap, tap. "Police." My mom pulled us closer. "Police, police, police." "Please stop," I heard her whisper. "I don't think calling them will help," my dad said. "How will we know when they're the ones at the door?" The knocking came back harder than before. The door shook, then it stopped. After a long moment, I heard the knocking again, but it was coming from our back door. We all turned together towards the back door, but the knocking immediately returned to the front door. Front to back, back to front. Loud then quiet, then loud again. Suddenly, the sounds was coming from both doors at once. Big heavy blows like a sledgehammer. Then something started rapping against the walls of the windows and the house, then the walls. It was like we were living inside of a drum with a dozen people trying to play at once. Or we were a turtle and something was attempting to claw us out of our shell. "Stop," Holden yelled. The knocking died. "I won't tell," Holden said, staring at the door. "I promise I won't tell anyone what I saw. Just please go away." We waited for nearly a minute, then we heard it. A soft tap, tap, tap coming from the window Holden had looked through earlier. Holden started to cry, sobbing like a prisoner watching gallows being built outside their cell. My dad held him, brushed his hair, but never lied to him. Never told him things would be okay. The tapping at the window went on for the rest of the night. We huddled together in the living room for I don't know how long. Eventually, my mom tried to take us kids into my room while my dad stayed to watch the door. But the second we moved into the bedroom, the knocking came back. So loud it was impossible to ignore. I was afraid the door couldn't take it. We went back to the living room and the knocking stopped. Only the tap 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 on the window remained. None of us slept the night. The tapping stopped around 7 a.m. That's about the time the sun came up here. We waited another 2 hours before my dad opened the blinds from one window. He made us all go back to my parents' bedroom first. I heard him open the door, then come back in. Okay, he told us. It's done. Holden's parents came back around lunchtime. My mom and dad walked Holden over to his house, and they all went inside for quite a while. Nola and I watched from the window. She stuck to me the whole day, right at my side, sometimes holding my hand. When my parents came back, they looked grim, but wouldn't tell us what they said to Holden's family. It was a Sunday, so we all spent the day together, ordered pizza and watched movies. That night, everyone slept in my room. Nola and my mom in the bed with me. My dad in the chair he pulled over. There was no knocking that night, or any night since. We didn't see much of Holden or his parents for the rest of the week, but by Thursday there was a moving truck in their driveway. Nola and I watched them packing up the whole afternoon after school. What sticks with me the most is how tired Holden and his parents looked. All three had the same pallor, grim mouths, and lightless eyes. Even from across the street, I could tell something was very wrong. Holden and his family were gone before sunset. I remember what the original welcoming committee said to my parents when we moved in. Not everyone who looks at the Whistler dies, but even those that live have the light go out of them, and the rest of their lives are full of misfortune, a million little tragedies. I think Holden's parents must have looked, either to comfort him if they didn't believe, or share the burden if they did. I watched Nola some days, happy and young and alive, and I wonder, if I'd been slower, if she looked out the window that night, would I have looked too, to comfort her, to share that burden? I'm glad I don't have to find out. We still live in that house, in that neighborhood. We still hear our Whistler walking past every night. The blessing, the luck. The good things here are too good to leave, but we're careful. We don't have any friends over to spend the night anymore, and my dad hides the key to the blinds very, very well. Not that I've gone looking. Some things you just don't need to look for. So what y'all think?
Alfredo was comparing it.
That was so long.
That's what she said.
Dude, I'm clicking around them.
I guess you guys have never been to Reddit.
Bro, I'm out of breath.
I have. That one is longer than usual.
Oh my
Bro.
gosh.
I'm gonna go into Reddit and I'm gonna find stories longer than that.
No, please don't. For the sake of my breath.
It's because r/no sleep is for people that literally can't sleep, so they just read stories. So they make it purposely long.
So what y'all think about the story?
I bet the Whistler was a black man.
No! Bro, that's what
That's what I had a vision in my mind. It was a black man.
I didn't even
I
have.
saw a black figure.
Oh shit, now it seems like I'm being racist. I think the Whistler was a white and black man.
Oh yeah, this is YouTube.
Bro, my head hurts, honestly.
Honestly?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't downgrading you? I just said honestly.
Honestly, you were black.
So like... Pretty good story.
How did I do with the narrating?
You can speak.
Yeah, I got mixed up at moments, cause like I read the same sentence again, and then I skipped ahead and stuff. I was like, wait, is this right? I was messy. And that's what she said.
But like, it's a really good story, not gonna lie.
Damn.
It is.
Good plot, good climax, good death.
I know. Hold on, I'm gonna look at some of the comments.
all the comments, it's too long. That's what she said.
So glad we're done with this.
Don't let them in. Oh, bro, I'm pretty sure I just found the longer one.
Bro, that's only so. That's
You
like
hear-
2 days I know. That's like
You hear
2 days,
loud
man.
knocking on the doors and windows. You open the door and you see it. You angrily hit him with a left hook. Fuck off, I'm trying to sleep. The whistler is shocked and leaves you. And you are even more lucky now.
I have an unusual job. The pay is good, but I really hate the moaning sounds that go with it.
Bro, I'm gonna kill Eduardo.
I volunteered to sit next to a dead man on a plane and deeply regretted it.
Who volunteers to this?
I'm a search and rescue officer for the U.S. Forest Service. I have some stories to tell.
Why is it just two again?
I had a disturbing conversation with my 7-year-old daughter. Dad, I saw a zombie. I was in the kitchen making tea when my little girl came rushing in. She ran through the back door so fast she almost tripped on the step and killed herself. What? She killed herself?
This dude
Weird.
swears he's fake, bro. This is nigga. That's not a fake.
True story.
The Chernobyl disaster was the cover up something terrifying. Chernobyl. Bro, the Chernobyl series. Oh, shit. Oh, I know this guy. Wait, I want to see. I found an extremely bizarre internet survey. The previous son of my new flat left a survival guide and I need some help. I was in prison for 15 years. There was a skinwalker in there with us. Oh, skinwalkers. Jacob, so... Mendes, do you know what a skinwalker is?
Wait, bro, what if, like, you recorded it with your phone? Like, but you didn't look. But you're recording blindly.
Where are you landing at? On the right side?
That,
Or-
and then,
So,
like,
like-
what if you used a mirror to look at it?
That's still looking at it.
Like the Medusa.
Crap, now I'm
So-
curious.
So, I'm pretty sure the rules are if any form of looking at it will cause you to have bad luck.
So then what if you post it on the internet, but, like, you don't look at it?
So there is an SCP like that.
Oh, what?
A special containment thing, an SCP.
What's her name?
It's called Shy Boy, I think. And any picture you see of it, it gets shy and then comes to kill you. It gets
Uh-huh.
enraged and comes to kill you. So any picture of it that you look at will get it shy and will go and try to kill you.
Bro, what if, like,
Bro, if you see it
Hey,
in
right
person,
here.
what
It
if
will
you,
try to kill you.
what if you look at the Whistler, and then go into, like, a fully
Oh,
padded
okay.
room, so that nothing can hurt you?
Or what happens if you look at the Whistler and you let them chase you into a jail cell? And you have one of your friends there closing their eyes, so when he runs into the jail cell, you close it and sacrifice yourself to capture the Whistler.
Yeah, yeah.
Bro, probably just, like, walk out or something.
What happens if the Whistler looks at itself?
Oh my god. That's like asking what
Bro.
happens if Medusa looks at herself.
She,
dead.
if Medusa looks at herself, she stuns herself.
double check.
yeah.
She turns herself into stone.
So
So what happens if the Whistler-
Dead silence right here.
Just
What happens
put
if the
one
Whistler
giant
looks at
mirror in your
itself?
house.
Well, that's
Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly,
just cover your house into mirrors.
That's a
And
really
if
good.
you
What-
if you accidentally look at it, you let him in, and he's gonna look at himself. He's like, "Oh, I look ugly," and kill himself just on the spot. Just
Come on.
he's
I
his
want-
neck snap.
I want to look outside now, but I'm scared. There's like, you know how the window is right next to me, right? And I want to look
Same.
outside, but like,
Oh yeah, there's like 2 windows in my room.
Bro, what happens in the middle of the night? We all hear whistling.
3:03 a.m., bruh.
We had enough for
We're
that,
just
bro.
staying up because we can't sleep for some reason. Out of nowhere, we just start.
What
hearing
if we
whistling
all hear
outside
at the
window.
same time?
Like it starts right, and then we all text each other. Do you guys hear whistling?
Bro. Bro.
I'll go. Bet I'm gonna go look.
Bro, I'm awake. I'm gonna
Hold on,
stay up.
gas man.
Eduardo, take one for the team.
I would like for real.
Nah,
I would
bro.
look at it
Nuh-uh, bro.
and text you guys what I saw.
You'd be
I would like describe
traumatized.
them via
You-
text and then kill myself.
You wouldn't even be able to.
I'll make my brother. No, cause I'm pretty sure you have to look at the picture of him or like anything, like physically look at it.
It's probably Shy Guy, dude.
I got a thermal sniper.
It's just a naked guy.
I got a
So many good questions. Like, I honestly wonder what would happen if it looked at itself.
shop, whatever.
Oh crap! Almost looked outside.
Wait, so Jacob, I found a story about a skinwalker
I'm gonna read it.
in prison.
I mean, it's
So
a
the
Navajo
title
crap.
is-
It's like,
I was a
well, it's forest. No, it's forest. It's not fake, but it's forest stuff. You're fine.
so
Skinwalkers.
explain what a skinwalker is. So like,
A skinwalker
viewers.
is pretty much like they're I think it's like Navajo Indians pretty much, and they're like really tall, skinny, I guess kind of like in a way skinless, and they take the form of like some animal like a coyote or like a fox or a wolf or something like that. And
this is
Yeah.
for the people at home.
but
And also,
y- it's like you know when one is near, like you have the feeling. Like I remember reading a story, and the kid that said that he was talking about it, and he said that he felt like something was following them out the window whenever they were driving, and his uncle, without even like looking at him or knowing, like without him even saying anything or looking at his uncle knew that he had the temptation to look because he felt it too. Like, you know when a skinwalker is near, and if you look at them, that could be certain death for you.
I'm going off.
Bro, I remember this one story. It was a creepypasta story, and it was about this like skinless thing dancing, and whatchamacallit, the dude, he was at, I think it was his grandma's house or his mom's house, and he was in the kitchen, and he saw through his windows like a thing just covered in skin. It was like a humanoid thing, and it was covered in skin, dancing around in the rain. I think it was like, I think they call it like a skin dancer or something like that. I think it's the Skinwalker story. I'm not sure, but my dad had tried looking for it, but he couldn't find it, and neither could we.
Closest doors right here. I'm gonna go to the top, get a jump.
spooky. Come to daddy. That's what it says.
I'm jumping.
That's what I said. I was trying to sleep
What,
through a
bro?
phone. I don't know what happened. I don't know
Are you
what
flashed? I'm flashed. They're both. Where are they at? Where?
I'm a 911 operator, just had the most terrifying call.
I'm but get in the building. It's around the corner. Get in the building.
Okay,
throw
so
small
it's
on.
not that.
That's what she said.
I'm buying the.
Oh, we could do this like a play. Yes, like, cause there's the 911 operator, and then there's the guy that's calling
Are
911.
you fighting? Yeah,
Bro, I feel like we wouldn't take it seriously.
Bro, come on, you and me, Jacob.
Alright, hold up.
If I get separated too, would it?
And Tyler's parents is lame, bro. I called this on being the 911 operator because you can make more frantic
They're
voice.
close or what? Oh shit, they're really close.
911 was ready.
There's a black man. Oh god, I'm live streaming.
What?
I'm live streaming. I forgot.
Bro, we're talking about pedophiles. What's your emergency? There's a black guy.
Yeah. Hi. This is gonna sound kind of strange, but there's a man stumbling around in circles in my front yard.
Could you repeat that, sir?
He looks sick, or lost, or drunk or something. I just woke up to get a glass of water and heard snow crunching around underneath my front window, so I peeked out. I'm looking at him now. He's about 10 yards away from my window. Something's not right.
What's your address, sir?
1617 Quarry Lane in Pinello Pass.
I'm going to send a squad car your way, but that's quite a ways out. Are you alone in your house, sir?
Yes, I'm alone.
Can you confirm that all of your doors and windows are locked? Stay on the phone with me.
Round one.
I know that my front is definitely locked, but I'll go check my back door again really quick. I appreciate your help. By the way, I know this is kind of strange, but I really hope that...
Cover me.
Wait,
Sir?
is that me speaking?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sir, are you still there?
He's still in the yard. He's still in the yard. But he's... What the fuck? He's upside down.
Bro.
Sir, stay on with me. What is happening?
He's staring right at me, but he's standing on his hands now. He's perfectly still, staring straight at me. He's doing a handstand and he's smiling at me. He's not moving.
He's doing a handstand, sir?
I don't know. He's facing me and standing on his hands, and he's got this huge smile and he's perfectly still. What the fuck? Please get someone out here now.
Sir, I need you to remain calm. I put out the call and an officer is on their way.
His teeth are so huge. What the fuck? Please help me.
Sir, I want you to try to keep an eye on him, but make sure your back door is locked again. We need to make sure all possible access points are secured. Can you talk me through and confirm that your back door is locked?
Okay, I'm walking backwards now and I'm keeping him in my sight. My hand is on the back door knob now. It's locked. I need to check the deadbolt, so I'm gonna take my eyes off him for a split second.
Alright, sir. Help is on their way. Just stay on the phone with me. Everything's going to be alright. Sir? Sir, are you still there?
His face is up against the glass.
Oh, we're really
Sir, I need you to speak up. What is happening?
I looked away for a split second, and now his face, it's pressed up against my front window. His teeth are huge, and he's still smiling. There's no color in his eyes. Jesus, please help me. Why wouldn't I just fucking move?
Sir, I need you to go to the nearest room and lock yourself inside of it. Do you have a basement or a bedroom that you can lock yourself in?
He won't stop staring. He's going to hurt me.
You don't know what.
Sir, I need you to listen to me. Lock yourself somewhere safe until the officer arrives at your house. Can you hear me?
Don't worry about it.
Yes, I'm going to lock myself in my room.
And you're positive that you're alone in your house, correct?
Yes, I'm alone in the house. Wait a minute. He's moving. He's shaking his head. He's telling me no. He can hear us. He's telling me I'm not alone.
Told you. I know.
Sir, are you still there?
Damn shit about
Or the loud noise? Is everything alright? Sir.
I see
This
him, I see him.
fucking damn, bro.
That was right.
Okay. Oh my god.
Are 3 people storing?
I'm out of breath, bro. That freaking... The Whistler one got me out of breath, bruh.
Oh no.
His dick pressed up against my asshole. And act like I care, bit. Oh shit, almost fell.
Sleep experiments. To those who see.
Oh,
This happened a few years ago. You may have heard rumors of the
And on top.
alright, I'll be the dad, you be the stepdaughter, alright?
I'll be the step bro.
Minutes, you gotta say help, I'm stuck.
Oh! I'm so glad I put that fucking claymore, bro. Yes, my claymore. You scared me too right now. Close the door behind me.
Do I hear a damsel in distress?
Dad, what are you doing?
Let me just pull you out my massive cock.
I was scared.
Now Mendes responds with, "What are you doing, stepdad?"
I'm pitting my... Oh, wait, that's my shotgun. I'm pitting... Let's rub asses.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the edge. Then they're up here.
Nah, fat.
Alright, I'm pushing you.
Damn. What should you play?
I'm gonna get him high ground and use it. You got one ready? The UAV?
About what?